Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining this program. We have done programs several times. The last one we did was on finance for non-finance managers. This was in August, and then participants were drawn from various institutions. And if you check, our story was published in Myanmar Times. We did a graduation ceremony. It was very nice because this is a certificate program. But due to the pandemic, we have not been able to organize any program. But we decided to organize just a one-day course like this, just to create awareness in the sector. Then we will do a series of these ones. Another one will be coming on soon. So today, we shall be looking at introduction to Silverman Financial Literacy Institute, introduction to SME, challenges of SMEs, management techniques for SMEs, various funding methods, and overcoming the impact of COVID-19 on your SME. Now you can also ask questions in Burmese. Feel free. We have our colleague Sue. Sue will do the interpretation and also help us to give us more explanation in Burmese. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to know something or you want to ask question, just let me know. And then, or you can still ask in Burmese, then I will be able to stop and then answer it, and then we proceed. Is that okay? Chala?
Okay,
Yes. Okay.
Yes, okay, so let's move on. And so what is Silverman Financial Literacy Institute? Our vision is to enhance financial literacy and human capacity development with contemporary mixed learning mode. Okay, I want to make these things to this side. Yeah, good. And then our mission is to reach every enthusiastic learner with financial, personal, and business education customized to the needs of individuals and institutions in an efficient manner. Our core value is what? Trust, innovation, leadership, and continuous learning. Now, our history is that we have been involved in writing books and educational materials, which focuses on personal finance, business finance, microfinance, and spiritual development. So with this, we registered as Silverman Company Limited, which is a licensed publisher. And out of this, we registered the Silverman Financial Literacy Institute. Okay, now this is me. I am the one presenting to you. So my name is Siegfried Kofi Badago, and I was awarded just in April this year as the CFO of the year for Myanmar. I work for one of the microfinance institutions at the moment, Heyman Microfinance. Most of you might have heard of Heyman. That's where I work at the moment as the CFO. And I have 18 years experience in the management consultancy, microfinance, financial management, accountancy system setup, and from various countries, including Ghana. I am from Ghana, but I live in Yangon now, and Sierra Leone, Ethiopia, Egypt, Zambia, Malawi, Myanmar, and the USA. I'm also passionate about writing, and therefore I am a gifted writer and author of books. And then you might have seen my books before, especially on microfinance. It is in the shelves of many bookshops in Myanmar and other books that we have. And I've also participated in major financial transactions, including due diligence processes and funding management for large size institutions. So that is about me, okay? All right, so we will proceed, and then let's see some of the books that we have published. So this book like this is very good for the course we are doing today. 18 Laws of Personal Development is full of fundamentals for business setup, how you can manage the business, how you can get it registered, how you can get the logistics and all that. It's very good for everybody in the SME sector. Then Permanent Wealth is like book 2 of the first book. It teaches you how you can create value for the business so that the business can last a long time. In other words, how you can create permanent wealth. Then we have the Microfinance textbook. This is the one I talk about. It's very popular in Myanmar here too. Then this is the last book here. It's called the Untitled Earth, which is more of a spiritual book on how you can obey the laws of this creation so that you can live in peace. So these are the 4 books that we have published so far, which are equally on sale. If you want to buy one, you talk to Sue, she can arrange for you, or also any of the bookshops in Myanmar, you can get them to buy. Okay. So, what is an SME? First of all, let's brainstorm. Can anybody tell me what an SME is? Very interactive today. Hey, Tida Win. So you will tell me what is an SME.
Okay. I will try my best. So I think the small scale enterprises, it's mainly for the how can I say, look, especially this is directly linked to the local business. Business and investors as a small size business, maybe shop or any business that's
okay.
I have just general knowledge about SME, you know, small size.
Good. You have
not large scale.
Yeah, you have good knowledge. You really understand. Yeah. Okay. So we will look at the definitions now. Okay. There are various definitions for various countries. So we will go through them. Okay. So let's look at what is an SME. It stands for small, medium-sized enterprise. That is SME. But if you go to every country, they have their own way of defining what an SME is. So for example, in USA, they say any enterprise employing less than 500 employees is described as an SME. If you come to UK, the usual definition of small and medium-sized enterprises is any business with fewer than 250 employees. You see, America has 500 employees, UK 250 employees. Now let's go to European Union. The turnover of medium-sized enterprises is between 50 to 249 employees and should not exceed 50 million euro. That is in terms of a turnover. And that of small enterprises is between 10 and 49 employees and should not exceed 10 million euro. While the micro firms is less than 10 employees, should not exceed 2 million employees. You see, European Union have a longer definition, so they broke it down into micro firms, small enterprises, and medium enterprises. Now let's go to Ghana. That is where I come from. I'm from Ghana. It's the National Board for Small Scale Industries in Ghana, which is the regulatory body for SMEs in Ghana, define SMEs in terms of both fixed assets and number of employees. It defines SME as an enterprise with a turnover greater than 200,000 US dollars and no more than 5 million equivalent, and employees less than 30 up to 99 employees. You see, the definition is different. Let's come to Myanmar. The SME bill in Myanmar says small enterprises are those with between 50 million and 500 million in capital, or with between 30 to 300 employees. Then medium-sized firms are defined as having between 50 million and 1 billion kyat in capital, or between 60 and 600 staff. So have you seen the confusion all over? It is not a confusion, but you see, every economy has a certain level of maturity, and therefore they have a different way of looking at what an SME is. So for example, if you consider the capital requirement in the European Union, that alone is a big enterprise in, if you come to Myanmar or you go to Africa or Ghana, because the capital is very big. And then if you go to the USA, 500 employees, just enough. They didn't talk about capital requirement or maybe turnover or whatever. So every country, if you check, they have a different way of defining an SME. But the general term is small, medium-sized enterprises. But each country has its own definition according to the law, the number of employees, or the capital requirement, or turnover requirement. Is that okay? Sandra, do you have a question? Chala? Okay. So that is how we shall, yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so that's how we can look at the SME. We will go to the next stage so that you clarify more of this, okay? Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about the success stories, okay? Are SMEs beneficial to economies? That is it good for countries and then they are whatever? There are a number of success stories around the world when it comes to SMEs. So for example, SMEs employ between 40 to 90% of employable workforce and contribute up to 50% of GDP in many countries. So this is the World Bank report 2019, which will tell you that the contribution of SME is very, very important. Between 40 to 50% of employment is done by the SME sector around the world. The report of the World Bank. Most innovations, startups, and business breakthroughs do come from the SME sector. You see? So startup like businesses like the IT or whatever, whether it is fashion show, music industry, journalism, like maybe media organization or whatever, those startups, any type of business that you see, it starts first as an SME before it will grow to something big. Okay, and the third one is the youth and the young adults, like all of us, okay, easily get inspired by leaders of the SMEs and also get their employment. So most youth like people who are into businesses and being able to employ them, and also they look up to them. So the government all over the world attempt to help the SME sector one way or the other. So you can check the government interventions in your country. So over here, we will focus on Myanmar. And in the subsequent slides, I will be explaining about what you can get from the SME sector in Myanmar and the rest. Okay? All right, so maybe let's proceed. But what are the challenges of a SME sector? So the first one is that SMEs often have limited track record in raising investment and providing suitable returns to their investors. You know, the challenge is that their funding or how they can raise funds because they don't have a suitable track record. Okay. Then number two, SMEs often have non-existent or very limited internal controls. I believe Sandra knows about this. We have been discussing in the previous course. Sandra joined us, and then we talk about the SME setup because she works by auditing most of the SMEs. Okay, so the problem is the internal controls. The accounting system are non-existent, or even if they have at all, the business owner take control of everything, and they can come and withdraw money at any time, or they can come and put in money at any time. There are no much controls. That is another major problem for SMEs. Number three, SMEs often have few external controls. No, we talk about internal control. Now, external. Okay, control from regulatory bodies are not so stringent on SMEs like the public companies. With this, there could be a success in hiring and firing employees and in management practices and tax abuses. You know, some of the SMEs don't treat their employees well. They can just hire and fire at any time. Some of them don't pay their tax, and maybe they don't prepare their financial report according to schedule or whatever. So these are some of the things because the government doesn't control them very stringently, like when it is a big company. So this is an issue. Then number four, SMEs often have one dominant owner manager whose decision may face little questioning. You see, the owner or manager, that is the owner at the same time the manager, has a dominant character and try to control everything, and that nobody can question him or her. Okay. Then SMEs often have few tangible assets to offer as securities. Yes. So if you want to take a loan from the bank, they say bring your collateral. Most of the SMEs don't have. So they don't have a tangible assets. So number six, can't or won't hire qualified expertise to manage the affairs of the business. So as I said, this is in line with number two. They are not able to hire expertise, like maybe a lawyer, an accountant, or somebody who will permanently put proper structures in place. So because of that, things are not handled properly. And that also leads to number seven, lack of system or structures in place to move the business forward. Okay. Shall we, any contribution, any addition here? Any question? So.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Who has a question? Hey, Tida. And those of you.
Yes, I don't have yet.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if you have question, you just stop me and ask, okay? And I'll be prepared to answer here. Okay, so we will proceed, okay? Now, what are the management techniques that are required for the SMEs? Yeah, this is something that will help to solve the problem that we have identified in the previous slide. How can we help improve the SME? That's what we are coming to. Okay, the following are required for the SMEs. They must automate their operations. That is, automate your operation. Small business owners have little time You know, the business people, they don't have time. They therefore need to automate their activities like daily planning, sales tracking, managing your money, etc. And this require accounting software, operating software, delivery apps, etc. So small businesses are required to automate their operation. Once they are able to do this, they will take the pressure out of themselves, and then they can concentrate on other things. Okay, keep up with technology with your customers. You know, this is in line with number 1. These days, customers and clients expect all business to embrace current technology to make their consumer experience faster and then cheaper. We all carry smartphones, and we expect to be able to connect with the businesses we love online and in apps. So you see, we are teaching you using Zoom. Okay, so we are applying the technology for our business. Previously, we used to have classroom teaching. We have our office at Ledan Center, you know, but because of the COVID impact, we cannot be opening the classroom and be having our lectures. That is why we chose to do the lessons online. So this is application of technology towards the business. Okay. Now, delegate tasks. You must train your staff and delegate many routine tasks to them. This will enable you to focus on more strategic things: new markets, new products, systems, and funding. Yeah, those are the key things for any successful businessman or businesswoman. You must be thinking about the new market, the new business, the new system that you have to put in place, and then funding for those businesses. But if you are focused only on the routine things, that is daily works every day, you will not be able to have the time to think about strategic things. So every business owner, whether big or small, must be able to delegate some of the tasks to their staff and then focus on strategy. That is very important. Okay. Then never forget your budget. Okay. Many small business owners are in the habit of spending unnecessarily or lavishly, let me say. The reason is that they are the owners, they are the one who created the money. So at any point in time, they can just take money from the company, or they can just take money about this. When we're doing the finance for non-finance management, we talk about one of the accounting principles. We talk about the legal entity concept. And we said that the business owner should be separate from the business itself. And it is the same thing we are talking about here in the SME sector. The owners need to plan and then manage their expenses, and they should not just be spending unnecessarily, but they should also cutting costs and focus on bringing more revenue into the organization. Okay. Then manage your products or inventory. This is a key thing. You want to find a good system to manage your inventory, track what sells. That is, what product sells better among your products that you deal with, or your services that you deal with. And if necessary, track your shipping. Okay. This is one place where you can take advantage of automation to track your inventory uses and needs. Focus on the products that perform better in the market. So for example, if you have several products that you sell, or the company has several services that it offers, you can look at all the trends of the business and see which one does better, which one performs better. Then you focus on those areas and then use that to progress, to market that side more. That can bring you more revenue rather than focusing on the area that is always loss making and the rest. Okay. Yeah. Then networking. Networking is very important. Every organization must belong to some association, like umbrella organization. It may be like, I know there are so many associations in Myanmar concerning businesses. So try and make sure that you belong to one of the association. I know most of the SMEs have association. And then you network in the industry. And also try to connect to people on the social media. This is very important so that you'll be able to get even customers among people that you meet on daily basis when you are able to connect well to them. Are we okay here? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We are okay. I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay. Are you learning something? I hope you are learning something, all of you. Yeah. Okay. Let's proceed. Okay. So we will move to the segment of funding. Okay. Where will the businesses get money from, or how would they? Where would they get funding for their business? Okay. Yeah. So let's look at that. Where do SMEs get their funding from? So the first one is the SME's owner, the owner of the business, family and friends. The second is the angel investor. Then we talk about the venture capital, trade finance, leasing, bank finance. Okay, that could be loan, crowdfunding, government grants, and interventions. So we are going to look at them one by one, how we can get funding. Okay. So let's proceed. Sorry. Okay. So the first one is the SME owner, family and friends. So owners actually start with their own ideas and their own savings. That is, when you start your business for the first time, you are going to use your own money to start. And then at some point, you can contact your family members and friends who could help to push the business. These are the most common form of starting a business. People whom you have close relationship know you are reliable and competent. So they do help as a great source of capital for SMEs. So it's a very common area. Okay. So angel investor. Has anybody known about angel investor? Angel. Not angel from heaven. Okay.
And it is kind of coming from the heaven.
It's coming from heaven, eh?
Just showing up.
Show up
Yes.
and provide the money to you and go back.
Just show us. There's something attracting, yeah, that investor, things like that. I don't know.
Okay, that's good. We will look at it in detail. Okay. Yeah. So let's look at it. Angel investors are wealthy individuals or group of individuals who invest money or equity financing in startups or early stage small businesses. So if you have somebody who is called an angel investor. The person is interested in your small business as a startup, maybe, or early stage. Early stage could be between 1 year and 3 years is early stage. Okay. And the person is ready to commit money into the business. And as I said before, the banks are not prepared to give you money when you are a startup. Yeah. It is only when you have enough money that you don't need the money. That is why the banks are prepared to give you money. So you could see that it is only the rich people who continue to get loans from the banks. Normally, people who have low income, they're small business, and they're very difficult to get a loan from the bank. So the angel investors are the good source. And you can easily identify angel investors. I know even in Myanmar, we have some of them, people who are ready to commit money into small businesses to grow it to some point. They become part owners in the business, or they just give you the money, not necessarily taking interest in it. So that the business will grow, then they can get their capital back plus some interest on the money. Okay, so they are investors who usually provide private equity or second round funding for growing profitable small business who need money to continue to grow. Okay, so that is how it is. So after family and friends, the next stage is the angel investor. Yeah, that is when you want to grow or expand the business, you need angel investor. Okay. Sorry, I think this thing has come back. Okay, trade finance is also very common. The basic things about trade finance is that you buy something on credit and later on you pay for it. Maybe the owners of the goods give you 30 days, 120 days, or 90 days, so that after sales, you offer the things. So it's a very common form of a source of funding, which many people don't regard it to be funding, because consider that you don't have the money. You don't have the money. You cannot buy the goods to sell or the products to sell. But if you enter into a trade finance agreement, you are pre-financed for the goods, so to speak. Then after sales, then you are getting your revenue, then you can pay back on time. Okay, so we said trade finance represents the financial instrument and product that are used by companies to facilitate international trade and commerce. Trade finance makes it possible and easier for importers and exporters to transact businesses through trade. Trade finance is an umbrella term covering many financial products that banks and companies utilize to make trade transactions feasible. Okay, so it's a very common term. So we can talk about buyer's credit, supplier's credit, letter of credit, okay, exports and domestic bill, discounting, standby, letter of credit, financing, bank guarantees. So these are the umbrella term for all trade finance arrangements. Okay, I know that our friend from CB Securities, I hope you know about this, I believe. It's very common with the security organizations.
Yeah, so it's about the bank. So we are the bank, we are the security business. So I actually don't know that.
Okay, okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's fine.
Thanks.
Okay, the banking sector mostly use this. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You deal in shares?
Yes, yes.
You invest, yeah.
Kind of a brokerage business.
Brokerage, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Different from banking business.
All right. That's nice.
Yes.
That's nice. Okay. Jesu de Mare.
I'll give it to mine.
Okay, so let's proceed. Leasing. Many people don't consider leasing also, but leasing is, and now gradually is coming to Myanmar. In Africa, it's very common already, very, very common, and in European countries and the rest, we use a lot of leasing facilities. So a lease is a contractual arrangement calling for the lessee to pay the lessor the use of an asset. So property, buildings, and vehicles are common assets that are leased. Industrial or business equipment is also leased. You see, so the diagram over here, you see, this is the lessor. This is the owner of the asset. Then he leases the asset to the lessee. Okay. Then the lessee will pay some minimum lease payments to the lessor. Then in between them, there is a lease agreement. So it's similar to renting a house or leasing a house, okay? But mostly industrial equipment or even vehicles. If you go to other country, vehicles. I give example of taxi business in Africa like this. You can go to the banks and then they will lease the vehicle and then you start using, and then you pay for it, and eventually you enter into agreement. So very common. So the lease agreement is very important. That means that you don't have to own the asset physically, but you continue to use it, and then you get the benefit of using the asset in your business. That is the core thing that we are talking about. Are we okay with this? Okay, let's move on to,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, bank loan or bank finance. This is the one that I talked about earlier. You see, in finance, a loan is the lending of money by one or more individuals, organizations, or other entities to other individuals and organizations. Okay, the recipient, that is the one receiving the loan, incurs a debt and is usually liable to pay interest on that debt until it is repaid, as well as repay the principal amount borrowed. So we know already about bank loans. Okay, we also know about microfinance. I can talk a little bit about microfinance over here. In Myanmar, you can take loan up to 10 million kyats without collateral from microfinance institutions. This is the regulation by the FRD. Because I'm working in the microfinance sector, we are permitted by the government to give loans up to 10 million kyats without collateral. And then the loan duration could be between 6 months up to 24 months. That is 2 years. And then the interest rate, our interest rate is capped. When we say it is capped, is that there is a ceiling on the interest. We cannot charge interest more than 28%. So all the microfinance loans are pegged at 28% or lower. It cannot be higher than 28% per annum. You could be charged some fees, and the fee amount will not exceed 2%. That is the Myanmar law I'm giving you concerning the microfinance. If you come to the banking sector also, the ceiling on the loan is 16%, 1/6. That is non-collateralized loan. If the loan has a collateral, it is 13%. It cannot be more than that if the person provides collateral. You can have various mixtures of the loan, but the interest, you cannot change it. Therefore, the banks can only play around by having more clients or having a mixture of the loan structure. So that is something for you. And if any of you are interested, in the loan in the local industry, just to provide some background on that for you. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at venture capital. Okay, venture capital. After this, we'll take a break, okay? So venture capital is a form of private equity and a type of financing that investors provide to startup companies and small businesses that are believed to have long-term growth potential. Now, this one sounds like the other one, angel investor, but we are going to look at the difference. The venture capital generally comes from well-off investors, not individuals, well-off investors, and then investment banks and any other financial institutions. Okay, so let's come here. You see, Sam is a young man and he has super idea. Great. Then he asked for bank loan. The bank rejected him, as usual. It's very common. If you approach the bank with your idea, they will reject it because you don't have the means. You might have collateral, the business might be running for 3 or 4 years, you might have a track record, you don't have anything. So you'll be rejected. Then he sees a venture capitalist. The venture capitalist is called Sue. Sue, are you here?
Yes.
You are here. You are here also on the platform. So Sue licensed idea and invest $1 million. Okay. So Sam Incorporated created the business in such a way that Sue owns 60% and Sam owns 40%. So we have Sam's product sells super well. Sue decide Sam's product have peaked. When we say it peaked, it means that it has reached a certain level whereby there is no more growth. Okay. Yeah. Then Sam Incorporated sold for 25 million. Okay. So which means that Sue decided to sell his shares in the business, and then the business was sold for 25 million and whatever. So basically, this is the idea of venture capitalists. And the first thing that you have the idea, but you approach your bank, the bank rejected you, but you have to see a venture capitalist. And then they are ready to provide you. But then they are going to be part owners in the business. You see, or maybe they will even have majority shares in the business. And so sometimes, normally it will take like 4 years, 5 years, whereby the company will exit. So normally we call something exit strategy. Exit strategy, whereby the business owner would like to exit in the business and move on to other things. Okay, so that is that. But we are going to look at the difference between the venture capital and then the first one we look at. Okay, so let's go there. So what is the difference between an angel investor and then a venture capital? Okay, so angel investors. Let's look at here closely. An angel investor is an individual. Okay, and under 1 million investment. If you come here, angel investor is most always a company. And over, you see, here is under 1 million, here is over 1 million investment. Okay, usually has other full-time job. You see, for example, I can choose to be an angel investor and I can invest something in your business, but I have my full-time job as a CFO of where I'm working. Okay, but investment as a full-time job, that means that their business is in doing investment. So it's like a company set up to do investment. Then usually isn't involved with your company. So most angels investors will not like to be involved in your company. They just give you the money. You go and work on it. Okay? They may not have the time. They don't even have the expertise to be involved in your business. And they also may not ask for board seats. That is, they may not like to sit on your board to be managing the business for you. And then once bring product to market, invest in the long term. They mostly invest in long term. But if you come here for the venture capitalists, they want a board seat. That is, they want to be part of your board to be monitoring their own investment. Many want involvement with the company. They want to be involved in your company. And then they want to scale an existing offering. That is the business that you are doing. They want you to continue to do it, to grow it, to focus on it, okay? They want large return on investment, okay? And then help you go public. When we say a business go on public, it means that the shares will be traded on the stock exchange. That will bring us to our friend CB, whereby they help people with investment. They can also help them with the security issues at the stock exchange. Okay, so that is the basic difference between angel investor and venture capitalist. Have we seen the difference? Chala. Okay. Hello. Yes. Okay. I hope you can hear me well. Okay. So let's take just a 5 minutes break. Okay.
Okay.
5 minutes break. Then when we come back, we'll continue. Then we'll complete soon. Okay. Are you learning something new anyway?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So 5 minutes, we'll come back, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, the Mare. You see, we must take care of all these things in the business to make sure that our workforce is cared for. Okay. So operations and supply chain. To avoid disruption to supplies and operations, agreement with suppliers must be reviewed and made realistic in the face of the pandemic. So the basic thing over here is that you must make sure that you cover all aspects of your supplies and take care closely of them. Then also the liquidity management, finance and liquidity. You must review the liquidity and financial projections as customers cannot pay or buy as in the normal times. This requires cutting non-essential jobs or non-essential services. Refocus on the main business, the reason for your existence. You know, there are some services that are not needed in the business. So those businesses must be cut off or must be taken care of so that you focus on the core business. Then another is on the liquidity. We talk about liquidity. We talk about the tax and regulatory. Ensure that your tax obligations are met. And ensure that you meet all government or the requirements of the government. This is very important. If the government's informations and then the tax are not met, it may have impact on the business because the government can come in at any time and then disrupt or try to prevent you from operating. Then another thing that we can look at, number 6, is to refocus on your channel of delivery and branding. So technology is leading the way for most businesses. Don't just do the business on the traditional way. Apply technology, use applications, use social media, sell online, and deliver online. You see, this is number 6 is very, very important. You will see that most businesses now are operating online. They are doing their courses online. They are delivering food online. They are supplying things online instead of doing it the traditional way. If you are able to take care of all these things, it helps the business. That is what we can talk about for now, about how we can handle the business. Any question from this side for now?
Yes. Actually, I'm not a businesswoman, but I'm learning about the SME, and also we saw a lot of difficulties at this crisis moment. So I also would like to know how government can support, or how can I say, yeah,
Yes.
in these situations.
Yes. Earlier on, we mentioned that the government actually have some funds that it has devoted to help businesses. We mentioned about a certain facility. Maybe I can go there about the government grants and interventions. And in addition to this, I also mentioned that in Myanmar, for example, the government devoted 100 billion kyat for the microfinance sector to help, especially those in the tea shop and then restaurants, to be able to get some soft loans for their businesses. Other sectors like the garment, textile industry also have some funds allocated to them. So basically, the government is doing very well to help the businesses to stand on their own. Apart from that, employees also, I think yesterday or otherwise 3 days ago, there was a publication that those who have been contributing to SSB, the Social Security Board, they will get up to 40% of their salaries if they have been, due to lockdown, they have been at home without working, they will be able to get some money. I don't know, have any of you seen that publication? Has any of you seen that publication concerning the SSB 40% for staff who may face lockdown?
Yes, I have seen it.
You've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard it actually.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, so this,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Hello?
Okay. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, please.
I just wondered that an SME owner can survive the pandemic by sharing the business model or raising capital, so that financing and equity financing. So my question is that SME owner, whether the SME owner should raise the capital through equity or debt financing.
Yes, SME owners can raise capital. One example I can give you now is that majority of the funding institutions have a lot of money sitting down, which is not being utilized. So if you are a business owner and you want to borrow at this time, there are a lot of funds in the system. That is the way I see it. Though others can tell you the opposite, that the banks may not be able to lend you or whatever. But in actual fact, most institutions have a lot of money sitting down because people are afraid of borrowing or taking the money or getting the investment. But if you approach them, they will be able to help to give you the support that you need. Okay. Is that okay?
Thanks so much.
Now you ask more questions. Don't be afraid. Anybody who have questions. Okay. Yeah, as much as I can provide. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask question, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. We all know that there's pandemic at this time and business is not moving on well. For example, if I'm doing business and I take a loan before this lockdown and all the pandemic issue here and there, maybe I took a loan from bank which I was supposed to pay every month, and I'm not able to pay it at this time as things are not going on well. What is the necessary steps or the best step that I should take to talk to my to my bankers so that they will not calculate interest or they will not put pressure on me?
Yes, if you already have an existing loan in the business, and then the business is not going on well, at this stage you can talk to the institution, the funding agency, in order to reschedule for you. They can reschedule the loan, or maybe what other institution or other banks, because I'm in the microfinance. What the microfinance are doing is that they ask the clients to pay only the interest on the loan, while they stop the principal payment, so that maybe from January, then the people can start paying for the principal. Other institutions are doing it like that. Others also will take it and spread the loan over a longer duration, so that the repayments will not be too difficult for you to handle. So those are the ways that the people are managing the situation at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Yesude Mare.
Yesude.
John, so any question? Okay, I'll go around one by one, okay? So that I'll get questions from, okay, he said no, sir. What about Count Pierre?
Hello?
Count Pierre Mikaula, any question?
It's okay.
Are you sure? You can ask question in Burmese. I speak Burmese. Okay?
Okay.
Talk to me in Burmese. That is if you have a question. If you don't have, what about Etida? Any question?
Not yet, sir.
Are you sure you understand everything?
Yes.
Okay. What about Sanda? Sanda, you are in the SME sector. Is everything clear? You can ask in Burmese, as usual.
အခုဒီမှာပြောတဲ့ fan လေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့နီးလန်းတွေ တော်တော်များများပေါ့နော်အခုဆိုရင် COVID government ပေးတဲ့ဒီ COVID loan ပေးတာရှိမယ်နောက်တစ်ခုကခုနပြောတဲ့ funding strategy တွေကတခုအဲ့တော်တော်များများနဲ့လုပ်ငန်းတွေကတော့အသေးလေးတွေကတော့အခုလက်ရှိမှာလည်းလုပ်နေကြတယ်ပေါ့ဆရာအဲ့ဟာတခုတော့ရှိတယ်ကျန်တဲ့တချို့ဒီ government grant တို့ဘာတို့ကတော့အလှမ်းဝေးတယ် bank loan ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်း SME တွေက security collateral မရှိတဲ့အခါကျတော့ဒီဟာတွေကိုဒီချင်းငွေတွေရဖို့ဆိုတာလည်းအဆင်မပြေတော့ခုနပြောတဲ့ family စီကယူမလားနော် friends တွေစီကပဲယူမလားနောက်တစ်ခုအခု government ကဒါ covid ဖြစ်လို့ဒါ collateral မပါဘဲနဲ့ပေးလိုက်တာအဲ့ဟာလေးတွေရတယ်ကျန်တဲ့ဟာတွေကတော့ဒီလိုပဲချင်းငွေ SME supporting ကအားနေတယ်ဆရာဒီလိုပဲရက်ကန်နဲ့ပဲကိုရှိတဲ့ငွေနဲ့ပဲလိပ်ပတ်လည်အောင်လုပ်နေကြတာများပါတယ်
Masana said actually it's not a question. She's just explaining about the current situation because in the current, the government is giving the loan to SME, but it's like without collateral. But actually, it's like most of the SME, they don't have a collateral, so they cannot get more loan, and they are just dealing with their own way, like taking loan from friends and family, and like something like that. So they are just solving their problem on their own, in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we make sure that the companies are back on their feet after the pandemic? I see at the moment, nobody knows when this pandemic will end. America has been under back and forth. They locked down for a long time. They went back and then people are still getting the virus more and more. At the moment, India is very bad. And then the whole of Europe, the rate of infection is still increasing. And even France is considering another lockdown, though the citizens are not agreeing on that. So in general, the whole of the world has suffered greatly for this year, 2020. And then, so the only way that we can adjust, that is for me and you, is that we must adjust to the changing times of today. We should continue to improve our health and safety at the workplace, at our home, avoid going to public places that involve too many people, maybe like a stadium, a big restaurant, or big supermarket. So many people are gathered there. And then also we improve upon technology, as you could see in number 6 over here. I think we already look at it anyway. We must make sure that we avoid going to the market by ordering things online. This also helps. And we ourselves, if we are into business, like we are doing now, as I told you, we used to do classroom teaching, but because of the pandemic, we are not able to do the classroom teaching. That is why we are doing it online. So you can also think about your business and see how best you can improve and adapt to the changing time. It is the only way that we all can help control the pandemic and then make sure that things are improved in our lives. On that note, I feel that we shall be able to survive, and then maybe from next year, maybe from January or so, things will start getting better for all of us. And then maybe it will be another time or another way to do things the old way again. Are we getting it?
Yes, please. Please, I want to contribute. I don't know if possible.
Yeah, you can. You can contribute.
Yeah, I think, is it Masonda who contributed now? She's the person was talking about getting loans from the family members and friends. I don't think it is the best, because taking loans from the family members and friends, I realize that it's not helping many people, because when the payback time gets, or some people go in for shack, is it check or shack loan or something like that, and whenever they take the loan, it's like the interest is so high that they are not able to make business and get their money. And some people, they end up killing themselves or running away, or some become depressed and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should rather use the little that we have at hand and stand on our own. Or maybe if we can talk to our bankers, it will be the best way. So that's what I think, or that is my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Contribution. Okay, she joined late. You have joined late, so maybe let's see your face on the video. Okay, so you joined late, so maybe you were not part of the introduction. That is, but it's okay. I'll okay. You can start the video. Okay. Yeah, so that is Alice. So Alice is the MD of the Training Institute. So she is doing other duties. That is why she didn't join on time. And I specialize in most of the training. And she also does a training, especially on counseling and depression management and things like that, which affects most people, especially in difficult times like this. Okay, so in case you have any challenge about depression, or some people, they want to commit suicide, they want to, they have problem in their marriage and whatever, you can talk to Alice, and then she is very good in those areas. She can help you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So I think we have ended our training, and then I want to share only last thing to you about our services. Okay. So on our services, we already talked about our mixed mode online, offline studies, facilitation of financial seminars and workshops for groups, associations, and institutions. Okay. We also help in making strategic planning, budgeting, funding proposals, and business plans. So in case you want to change or you want to do a business plan for your business, or you want to learn it. Actually, our next course is going to be on how to prepare a funding proposal and business plan. So we are going to announce it very soon. We can also teach you how you can do it or prepare the business plan for your business. And then if you are looking for funding for your business, sources of funds or finance for your for individuals and institutions, we will be able to help you. Then counseling on marriage, stress, and depression management, as I mentioned about Alice, she handled this side very well. So this is our contact and numbers, including that of Sue, actually. And then our email is here. And then you can check our website also. And then the books, most of our books are in Amazon. And then you can also get the books to buy from us directly, or any of our bookshops throughout the country. And that is that. So I'll stop sharing for now. And then, so any question again for me or for any of us, or contribution before we close? So, any question or contribution or suggestion?
No, everything is good. And I don't have any question for now.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Has
Yeah,
everything
everyone
ended
post
well?
this.
Any other question? No, maybe let's ask the participants one by one first. John, any question? John, so can't pay attention. Question?
I have no question, sir.
Have you learned something from the program today?
Yeah, sure.
Was it okay? Okay, I saw one suggestion over here. Please advise, how can we get loan from government? Okay, I saw the chat. Yeah, so yeah, for the government loan, as I said, it depends on the sector in which you are. If you tell me your sector, I will know where you can approach. But I already mentioned the microfinance one. So for example, if you have a tea shop, a restaurant, or maybe a hotel or whatever, it's easy. You can approach us and we can give you a loan, any of the microfinance, whether you are talking about Satapana, you are talking about Vision Fund, you are talking about LOLC, or any of the microfinance company and whatever, you know, they will be able to help you, okay? And for the government and then, I mean, textile industry, they also have their own arrangement. So as I said, it is good to be in association. Then you can approach those associations, whatever, and then you'll be able to get access to those funds. It's very important. Then also you can also contact maybe the government agencies directly. For example, the government economic bank. The government economic bank. So listen to me carefully. They are the one in charge of distributing all the funds. So if you get the Myanmar Economic Bank and you contact them, they will be able to advise you on where you can source the money. But they are not giving the money directly, but the money passes through them to various institutions. So that's another source that you can find out more. Or if you also know of any government department like Ministry of Finance and Planning, that is also, you can also contact them. Yeah, so that is that, but it depends on the sector. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm is that okay, John? Okay. Okay. Any further question? If no, Mama, you say you have something, or otherwise we'll be closing.
I think it's okay.
Okay. So thank you very much for joining the program today.